All right, well, I'm here at Grand Traverse and Calumet Court. And it's an ambulance turning the corner up there. But I'm going to pay another visit to Norwayne Disneyland. We had a recent lecture at the public library regarding Hamtramck Disneyland, the great, you know, folk art establishment that it is. But I think Norwayne Disneyland is being ignored in the process. Lots of sirens. May have to go check that out after we're done with Norwayne Disneyland. I think they have their dogs out, so it may be a noisy barking kind of a run through, but I think it's kind of cool. There's a cool Jeep in there. Hey, hi there. Hey, boys.
Hey.
Hi. How's it going? Hey, I'm just admiring your collection out here. How's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Just admiring your collection. I call it Norwayne Disneyland. It's something else. Have you ever heard of Hamtramck? I'm sorry. I don't mean to upset your pets. Have you ever heard of Hamtramck Disneyland?
No.
There's this guy, a folk artist in Hamtramck that has his whole yard full of interesting curios and things. And they just did a lecture on it at the Westland Public Library. And I've been saying, hey, you need to do a feature on Norwayne Disneyland, as I call it. Did your... I don't know you personally, but other people have told me that your father lived here and started the garden and everything, and then somebody else carried on. Is that true?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Maybe my information is all wrong, but that's cool. But no, I appreciate you keeping things colorful in Norwayne, because the community seems to be in decline sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I just wanted to say hi. I've never seen you out in the yard before, so I never got to talk to you personally.
Yeah, we do a lot with the military.
I'm a veteran myself, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, what years?
I was in 81 to 84 in the first. Yeah, it was post Gulf pre-Gulf War.
Yep.
Post first one. So
Yep.
so I didn't see it. Yeah, I didn't see any action, so I was lucky. But I got categorized as a combat veteran because we invaded Grenada during basic training.
Oh, so you got a combat ribbon.
Yeah, I got a combat ribbon, but I really didn't see any combat. So
No, man, you raised your right hand and went over to war.
you put yourself at risk, you know. So
Just signing the paper.
yeah. Well, I didn't claim my veterans benefits until just a few years ago, just for, you know, the hospital, medical, and everything.
Yeah,
But
the
the Affordable Care Act made me do that. I'm just like, what, you're going to penalize me if I don't have insurance? Okay, well. And I was surprised, you know, I didn't see combat or anything, but they took me right in. They given me pretty good care.
Yeah, it don't matter if you see combat, you raise your right hand.
It's true.
Owns your butt.
You're not the first person to tell me that, but I do know, I personally, I'm a tattoo artist. I have clients who've seen serious, you know, combat duty and serious injuries and PTSD and everything else. So, you know, having had easy duty, I hesitated, but I realize now that that's there for anybody who volunteers.
You raise your right hand. The government
Yeah.
puts you where you're supposed to go. So
Right.
whether you see combat or not.
Do you have a military background, or are you just a supporter?
I have experience in it. Yeah, I did other things for the military. I used to play. Used to work with the 300th Military Police out of Fort Custer.
Oh, cool.
And I was
Again,
well, I was-
training, auxiliary training.
Slovakian airborne units. We fought against them and fought them on Soviet weaponry.
Oh, cool.
I belonged to other organizations that, I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff the military does.
Right, right. I was riding along the outside there, and one of the black residents of the neighborhood was walking by, and I asked him, you know, how do you feel about the Confederate flag up there? He's like going, I don't give a shit. It's just like,
You know, a lot of people don't recognize it as a combat battle flag.
yeah, yeah,
30
right.
some thousand Americans died on that side. 25,000 died on the Union.
And they were Americans, you know.
And they were Americans.
Yeah.
And they believed in their constitutional
Right.
rights. They'll look favored on the Confederates. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why. The Americans they didn't fight for slavery. It was taxation and other things.
Right, right.
And
Well, the official story now is about slavery. So if you fly that flag, you're supporting slavery and you're a racist.
No, it's not about slavery.
Yeah.
It's about the men that fought and died.
Well, very rarely do you hear your perspective on it. You only hear the official story when when it comes up.
Yeah, that's they don't know about that flag. That's a battle flag. So more or less, Americans had the American flag when they went into battle, and that's what their battle flag was.
Okay.
And across things like that, it's totally different. And if you look on Google, you see the Confederate what it's supposed to be on their side. But it has nothing to do with slavery. Slavery,
interesting.
emancipation didn't come to 2 years after they were in battle. So that's like me and you battle, and I said you can't live in that house no more. After I'm already fighting with you.
Right.
Tell me.
Huh. Well, I've noticed you've got a cross. There used to have an Israeli flag.
I got through the Israeli. I got to get a new one.
Right. No. So what's the slant on? I know my parents are evangelical Christians, and they would be what you would call Christian Zionists. They support Israel in any conflict because they're supposed to be God's chosen people. But is that your take on it too?
Yes, that's God's chosen people through history. History
Okay.
shows that the Jews, the 144,000 that are going to be resurrected.
Yeah.
Jehovah's Witnesses think it's them because Jehovah's
Oh, right. The Jehovah's Witnesses have a very interesting denomination. They got that idea about there's.
brother and sister are Jehovah's
Oh, really? Maybe you can give me insight into this. They have they say that there's 144,000 slots in heaven. So they keep trying to recruit more, and there are obviously more than 144,000 Jehovah's Witnesses in the world right now.
Yeah,
so
that's what I tell my brother. I go, Joey, your religion is not the perfect religion. He goes, oh yes it is. And I says, you think that you're going to be chosen for the 144,000 to come back to Earth
Right.
and treat us the right way? He goes, yes. And I go, you're over 1 million strong. Well, they're not true believers, so your religion ain't that
Wow.
great. And I says,
So
Christ, if you look at Christ's teaching and stuff, he was on the cross and forgave a murderer and a thief on his left. He wasn't
Right.
a Jehovah's Witness. He wasn't deafened. He was supposed to have been a Jew. But he forgave him. And for Christ, all you have to do is ask for forgiveness. It's man-made that made
it's grace, yeah. As opposed to the Old Testament arrangement, which is about the law, and the New Testament, the gospel being about grace. You're forgiven.
You're forgiven if
Yeah.
you ask through Jesus.
Yeah.
Because,
So the rest of
all those people that are they're in purgatory right now have to be judged by God. And that's why they're not got the kingdom of heaven given to them yet.
Right.
So when,
Well, you mentioned purgatory. Is that that's a Catholic idea, right?
purgatory is, Catholic, you're in a sleep, but they still believe in Jesus Christ. I don't know how the Catholics are.
Right, right.
There's all different religions.
Well, some evangelicals believe that the Antichrist is going to rise out of the Catholic Church, and that the iconography and everything they use is a form of idolatry and that kind of thing.
Well, they're using something they believe they read out of the Bible and totally read it different than any other religion.
You mean scriptures about idolatry, you mean, or?
No, I'm talking about anything in the Bible.
Oh, well, it's up for interpretation, and it's been translated by
man.
It's been translated by man, and then by another man, and then by another man. Did you know that King James was homosexual? So, I mean, I don't have anything against gays and lesbians personally, but I mean that it might be something that people who want to, interpret the scriptures in certain ways might want to consider.
It comes down to that too. See,
Yeah.
gays think this and that. It comes down to who? Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't matter what religion you are. If you believe it fully in your heart, Jesus Christ, or if you want to live by the Ten Commandments like the Jews, that's a hard religion to live by.
Yeah, it's the law. It's about works versus grace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why Christ got sent by God on the earth, so he didn't destroy it, because the Jews weren't following the Ten Commandments.
Well, he became the Hebrews, the ancient Hebrews had animal sacrifices, so Jesus became our animal sacrifice to so we get a pass. Doesn't mean that it doesn't mean we don't have to obey the law, we don't have to behave, but we're forgiven.
In your heart what you're supposed to do, and you still
Yeah.
follow the
Mm.
If you look at most of the laws and regulations of this world, it's by the Ten Commandments. I shall not steal, commit
Right.
murder.
Or
It's
the
got all those in there, which we follow even today.
right. Well, the idea of morality and the basis of laws and the Constitution were, I think, generally based on Christian values because that's what Western civilization was based on.
Yeah.
So people argue that has nothing to do with Christianity, or sort of are like, well, okay, our founding fathers were deists, which is an interesting take on Christianity. But you can't say that they weren't, Christians.
They had some belief in God.
Yeah.
It's man that made the Bible. I mean, not the Bible. Interpreted it different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Jehovah, like I told my brother, you're over 144,000.
Right. What do you think about the Mormons? They've got a whole different take on it too. It's I've read a lot about the Church of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, they're not that bad. But
well, they seem the ones I've known have been very nice people, and
they're all right. And they believe that I forgot what they call him. He talks to God and everything else. And I looked at what great miracles could he do, because the Holy Spirit would go into the great miracles.
Right.
I said, I could tell you right now that I talk to God all the time. I see heaven.
Oh, you're talking about like Joseph Smith and Mormonism? Yeah. Well, they also teach that Jesus, there's that 30 years missing in Jesus' life. They teach that he traveled across, he came to North America and ministered to the North American Indians. So that's a great story. I hope that's true,
But see, what it all comes down to is the belief in Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's what you got in your heart, yeah.
It don't matter what they want to believe or what you believe. Like I said, his first forgiveness was a murder and an adultery that had nothing to do with any kind of religion. He noticed that he was a great man, and he asked for forgiveness.
Right.
Jesus forgave him. That don't mean that gives a clear ticket like a murderer. He knows what's down in your heart. You can come out and say, I'm sorry to what I did to you, and I'm not.
Right. That's just,
He's just saying the things maybe to get into heaven. He's not going to get into heaven. He's got to truly believe in his heart.
Well, I've always had a problem with that idea that you could be a serial murderer your whole life, but on your deathbed you could accept Jesus and then you're going to heaven. It's sort of like...
Yeah, but see that, I do too, but you got to look at it as he knows what's in your heart.
Right.
He knows you're not copping out. He knows you're not just saying that to get a ticket into heaven.
Okay, yeah.
Because I say that don't mean I'm going to get into heaven. It's the belief that what's in your inner soul, your soul is, that you are forgiven. I really did wrong, and I am really sorry what I did. Please forgive me.
I agree, yeah.
So it all comes down, all that, all religions, or you could argue religions to some people
theology. Some people, I think some people do practice a form of idolatry by letting theology become their god. In which case, it's about the gospel. The gospel is about forgiveness and the Jesus redeeming us and everything. And the red letter, I put the focus on the red letters of the Bible. Those are the ones that are the most important. Not that the rest of it is not important, but the Sermon on the Mount and those kind of things. Yeah.
There's miracles that happen
Yeah.
today.
And I don't care if they're metaphors or if they really happened. I'm willing to believe either. It doesn't hang me up on whether or not it's accurate history, whether it was supernatural or whether it's a metaphor. It's significant to me on any level.
It just shows there was great things that happened even during his era.
Right.
During Augustus Caesar, when he was persecuting all the Christians and put them at the stakes and they were willing to go.
The early Christians, where they're burning them as tiki torches at their gladiator matches. Yeah.
But he sent scholars out to figure out who this Jesus guy was.
Okay, with like Josephus and that.
I don't know.
He came later.
He come back and said he's a man that done great miracles.
Right. Okay.
So how can you sit there and deny something like history?
Yeah.
Like the guards that Jesus resurrected, they fell asleep. No, if you fell asleep on duty, they just killed you.
Right.
The Romans, you don't fall asleep on your job. So something happened.
Yeah, they're pretty strict.
They
military sect. It ties into homosexuality as well, because the Roman soldiers had boy slaves who were, they call it pederasty. They would polish their, their uniforms and their armor and things, and they would polish some other things too.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the references in the Bible to homosexuality, under whatever the Hebrew word was or the Greek word was, are referring to pederasty. But yeah, it's the kind of thing you don't really understand until you start really digging in and looking at the Hebrew and the Greek and whatnot. But I didn't mean to interrupt what you were doing. It looks like you're repairing your trailer there.
I gotta get ready for a show this weekend out at somewhere in Ohio.
What kind of show is it? Like a memorabilia?
Yeah, military show.
Oh, very cool.
And we do a lot of that.
The Jeep is functional. It looks like it's in good shape.
Yeah, that's a 1972.
Yeah.
We do a lot of the big great dog is a service dog. He works with PTSD, school kids.
Oh yeah.
He knows when they have troubles and stuff.
He can tell intuitively, huh?
Yeah, God bless him, man. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people, they say I always thought about killing myself, but I bring God and George into it. And I know so much about Vietnam. I know where they served, what they did, what they carried, the weaponry. And I have wives coming up to me that want to buy my dog.
Oh wow.
And I got offered $25,000 for that dog. They go, how much for the service dog? I
Uh-huh.
said, 20 to 25.
Uh-huh.
They go, all right, I'm rich. I'm a millionaire. I'll buy your dog.
Oh wow.
No.
So you're not willing to sell it even for that much, huh?
Money don't mean nothing. I seen heaven
Yeah.
once. And I don't care for money.
Right.
I don't care for a lot of material.
Right. Your eyes are heavenward, yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Well, it looks like we're getting our trash pickup. Hey, I didn't realize that I was going to be talking to you personally when I came through, so I was videotaping. But so I should let you know that the conversation was videotaped. I hope you don't mind. Okay. Because there has been controversy over the flag and whatnot, and I think if I do post my
Status that remember the dead.
Right.
You always remember there were soldiers, there were women, there were family members.
Yeah.
And they believed in something strong enough. Do you think would you set your son out to go fight a war to protect the rich people from slavery?
You're bringing up the class issue too, which I think a lot of people see things in terms of race as opposed to class. And class is a subcategory of the class is race for sure.
Well, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't care what color you are. I treat you like a human being.
Yeah.
Treat me like a human being. I'll treat you like one. But I won't treat illy or feel bad about or any sarcasm to you if you treat me bad.
Right.
That's the way you are and you were raised. I'm sorry about that. I hope you can see the light.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, I don't hold no grudges, no nothing. I love all people. And like I said, I got to see heaven. I got shot at in Inkster as a police officer, so I see.
Oh, you were a police officer in Inkster?
Yeah.
Oh wow. How long did you serve there?
9 years. I see my life flash in front of me.
Wow.
I had a 15-year-old that would have killed me if it wasn't for my partner.
Right. Did you know my grandpa, Johnny Johnson, over on Bendencourt? He was Wayne County Sheriff Detective for years and years, and he served on the Wayne, Westland, Nankin Township, and in local law enforcement for his whole life until he retired and became a Baptist minister.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah, if you've served in Inkster, it's, I think there are activists I know of, like my friend Rob, who grew up in Inkster, and they're really trying to revive things the same way we had. Did you know Hank Johnson in Norwayne?
I'm part of the Wayne Westland, revitalized Wayne Westland, the houses and stuff.
Oh, great. So you knew Hank then, yeah. I know, I was really sad to see that.
He was part of the group too.
Oh, cool, yeah. But I'm Hank.
Once a month,
yeah.
to rebuild houses. We funded for the houses. Joanne Campbell, she's the head honcho of it.
Right.
The whole deal.
My grandfather knew Hank too, and obviously my grandfather's older than Hank, but yeah, I was really sad to see Hank pass away.
He was having a lot of medical problems.
Yeah, well, and he's like the main advocate for Norwayne too. I mean, with him gone, I really hope things don't slide downhill, because
no, it's not. They still got the revitalization, like some of the homes that are tore up.
The organization still exists.
Yeah, it's still there. We rebuild the houses. We rebuilt that house over there on the corner.
Right.
Brand new house.
Well, just tearing down some would be an improvement too.
We do tear down some.
All of Mackinac is gone now. Like every single house on Mackinac Corridor on the other side of Vinoy is gone, and I was checking out the houses before they tore them down. They really were beyond rehabilitation.
We go in and look at them. Roger looks at them, see if they're salvageable.
Yeah.
Then we have to okay the funding to tear it down or revalue.
Yeah, I wondered how that works, because you'd have to find out who owns it.
Well, it goes into foreclosure, and then it goes to the bank. We'll give it up, and then taxes are owed.
Right.
Put it up for sale. If they don't sell, we come along and say it's worth rebuilding. We pay the taxes. We got funded from the government and stuff like that. So we'll see if it's salvageable to rebuild it. And we usually give it to low-income houses. We lose money on a lot of it.
Right. That's interesting. So, in other words, does the city waive the taxes in a case like that, because you're going to rehabilitate
we got
to pay it, right?
But that comes from grants and money that is put aside.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, the taxes usually ain't that much.
Well, what about a case where they can't track down because that last one on Mackinac, they had like 3 different listings for like landlords, and if you Google search it, it was like, it seemed very up in the air as to actually who owned the damn property.
We don't worry about that. We're worried about to the end where it don't go no more.
Yeah.
Do something with the property.
Right.
So otherwise, we don't go track down who's got what.
Right.
The city says, okay, we got these homes. They're going up for. They put them up for sale first for the back taxes, and somebody wants to pay for it. Nobody wants to buy it. Then we'll look into it.
Are you familiar with the one Norwayne landlord who was running for mayor a while back?
I don't really get into politics that much. I mean, I don't pay no mind to them.
Because I've heard a lot of rumors about him and whatnot, and I've heard that the accusation is that he intentionally sabotages the neighborhood so that property values will go down and he can buy more. There's no way to prove such a thing, so I don't know if that's just rumor or what. But
I don't really get. I mean, me and my wife, we go to our meetings just for what.
Yeah. Well, Jehovah's Witnesses they say we're citizens of the kingdom of heaven. They don't get involved in politics at all. So that's the best reason for separation.
Their own, family members that grew up with them.
Yeah.
I had 8 brothers and brothers and sisters, 2 sisters and 6 brothers.
And
2 of them are Jehovah's Witnesses. Never seen them in 20 years.
They are kind of what do you call that?
They're in their own little.
They hang together. Yeah.
They're not allowed to come out with us heathens and stuff like that. And if they get caught, like at a party event and stuff like that, or birthday, or like the celebration of 4th of July I had here.
Right. They get excommunicated, or punished somehow. Well, that's why they're accused sometimes of being a cult, because that's one of the. Yeah, it's one of the things that a cult will do. It'll separate you from your loved ones and from the outside world and that kind of thing. Yeah.
They really think they're the chosen people, which Jehovah's Witnesses weren't around at the time of Christ.
Okay,
There was no Christians, no nothing. It was just the Jewish faith back then.
Right.
And there was no baptism.
Well, they're pagan religions back then too, I assume.
There's pagan everywhere across the world.
In the world, yeah.
And I believe in idols and stuff. It's like the Catholics believe in Saint Mary, which I don't.
Well, that's where the idolatry accusation comes in, because all of the and I love all the Catholic iconography and imagery, and that was a big part of Western civilizations. Art, and Michelangelo and Da Vinci, and all the great religious works of art and whatnot. We're Catholics, so it has.
They make you feel fear God and stuff. That wasn't what it's all about.
Well, yeah, there is the emphasis on the bloody, suffering Christ and whatnot. you know, whereas the risen Christ might be a better thing to focus on, right? Yeah. Well, anyway, I won't take up any more of your time. I appreciate you talking to me.
Yep.
And it's good to meet you. My name is Roscoe.
I'm Ben.
What?
Ben, B-E-N.
Ben.
Yep.
Very cool. All right, take it easy.
Yeah, my sunflower will almost up.
Last year, I think I got some video footage of them. I like your frogs, too, on the gate.
That's my wife.
Oh, yeah. They're still cool. Yeah, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Sunflowers are already blooming up there.
Yeah, we got some red ones.
Yeah. Those, the cans that you have on the pole up there, are those like
Birdhouses.
birdhouses? Okay. Have you ever thought of putting a bat?
I thought about putting some bats up.
Yeah.
One of the guys that I owns military vehicles said he does bat and it's good fertilizer.
Yeah.
So we got
The guano.
It's a great for Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I thought about it.
I thought about it too. They eat bugs.
Yeah.
The flies are really bad this year, aren't they?
Believe it or not, I haven't had a lot of flies this year. Or it does.
Maybe it's just over on Bendencourt.
Yeah. Maybe too much bull crap over there.
What? It's possible. You never know. I moved my trash cans around the corner of the house off the porch. I'm thinking that might have been part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a good day.
All right, Roscoe. God bless.
All right. Maybe I'll run into you again.
Yep.
Well, that was cool. I got to talk to him finally. I've shot footage before, but there was never anybody around. I wasn't going to go bang on his door. But you know, that's cool. At least we get his side of the whole story, because you know, the rebel flag is controversial to most people, and this is, you know, prominently displayed here on Grand Traverse. And it was good to be able to get his whole side of what I call Norwayne Disneyland. And here we are returning to Calumet Inlet from Grand Traverse.